Ada 3 lagi sih. Tim, want to say? Ready? Yeah. So just do a quick opening and I'll give it to you. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Hello everyone, how are you? Good. Thank you for coming for another Dojo event. I see some new faces who's coming here for the first time. Woo! Welcome to Dojo. So yeah, my name is Auntie. I'm the event coordinator of Dojo. And today we have one of our members, Nina. Let's give a applause for Nina. Nina is the founder of Digital Nomad Daily, which she will explain more about what the fuck is Digital Nomad Daily later. But I've witnessing her hosting other very inspiring events in Canggu as well. I'm sure she has a lot of things to share for us today. So the event will be about 1 hour. 45 minutes talk, and then ideally 15 minutes question and answer by the end of the session. But if during the presentation you want to share something or you want to have a question, whatever, just raise your hand and feel free to ask your question. Hi, Danny. Yeah. There's a... You're gonna be that cold to this. It's okay. All right. Yeah. So yeah. I think that's all for me. Enjoy the event. Oh yeah, if you're not a member, you want to make sure that your hotspot is turned off because it messed up with our Wi-Fi, making the connection slow for our members. So you want to see that your hotspot tethering is off. If it's still on, Nina will kindly ask you to leave. But a big smile. Giving the responsibility to Nina. Okay, that's all for me. Enjoy the event. This is Nina.
Hi guys, welcome. Yeah, so my name is Ninka, but I go by Nina. So Ninka is a Dutch name. It's not that hard to pronounce, but usually people are like Nyanke or stuff like that. I don't like it so much. Like Auntie said, like I'm the founder of Digital Nomad Daily. I will speak about that more, but if you wanna follow me and the other nomads, this is everything. Wait, how does this look? Yeah, so the nomad struggle, Instagram versus reality. I'm just kind of curious, like how many people have been living the digital nomad lifestyle, location independent lifestyle, remote working, or maybe no label, but just live this lifestyle for maybe longer than 3 months? Some hands. Awesome. So we also have some newbies. Yeah, so I've been living this lifestyle for over a year now, and I've been living abroad for about 4.5 years. And I've been learning a lot about like this lifestyle and especially a lot of struggles. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're not going to talk about all that sexy stuff that we see on Instagram. It's total bullshit. If you're new, I'm sorry, I don't want to crush your dream. It's not true. We're going to have fun though. So for today, I put up a Slido. It's basically a platform where we can put up questionnaires. You can use the hashtags Digital Nomads Daily if you want to put some questions in there. And I will also ask some questions as well during the presentation. And otherwise, just raise up your hand. This is going to be like a talk, and I will share my journey. But more importantly, I would love to actually have a conversation because that's the whole reason why I started Digital Nomads Daily. So let's go. So the first question is actually, what is your biggest struggle as a digital nomad? I have many, and I'm sure you guys also have quite a lot. So maybe we can start with Zach. You can tell one of your struggles that you have.
What are my struggles? Love, Nina.
Finding love, dating, okay.
Yeah.
I'm very well aware of that. We're good friends. Okay, and maybe some other struggles. Yes.
Just like structure in the day, because
Yeah.
like, you just keep getting pulled off to do other stuff you want to do, and then get back to the computer and you're like, oh.
Yeah. Are there any other volunteers to share a story?
Yeah, actually, I was wanted to say the love thing as well, but
Yeah.
then there's another funny one. So my struggle was always like people would ask me where I'm from or where I live.
Yeah,
And I was like, oh, I'm that period of time there, and that period, do you know where I'm born? Or do you know where I've been? Or do you know where I just flew from? Yeah, that's kind of funny, like this, location independent. But I don't like really have like a current, like a like base.
Yeah.
So I kind of like really struggle. Like you ask me, and I don't know how to answer that.
Cool. Thanks for sharing that. So today we're going to speak a bit about my journey. And then we're going to talk about why I started Digital Nomads Daily. And then I'm going to give you some Digital Nomad life hacks. I just want to say with the Digital Nomad life hacks, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. One of the most beautiful things that I found out was that if you look in the room, and I really want to ask you to do this for like 10 seconds, look around, give each other a smile, and especially look like where we're coming from. So let's do that right now. Let's awkwardly look in the room. Awesome. That was great. The reason why I asked you to do it is that we all come from different walks of life, different religions, maybe different cultures. We understand food differently. We communicate differently. We're all very unique beings, but we do have a lot of stuff in common. And I think when it comes to Digital Nomad lifestyle, like one of the things that I absolutely hate, and if you're one of these persons in this room, like it's not a personal thing to you, but if you're selling a course on how to become a digital nomad, how the hell can you sell that shit? If we're like with so many different people on this planet living this lifestyle and try to do our best. So I'm not going to tell you how to do it. I'm just going to give you some perspective, and that's why I love to have that conversation, right? So my journey, well, this is me. I'm 29. I look like I'm 22. So just so you know, I'm from the Netherlands. You wouldn't say that either because I'm like super small. I don't know if you've been to the Netherlands, but these people are giants. And I just want to put it out there because usually if I introduce myself as like Nina or Ninka, and I say that I'm from the Netherlands, it's like massive disappointment. It really happened. People are like, I really? And I'm like, yeah, sorry. So I see myself as a creative entrepreneur. What does that mean is that I'm a creative and it's almost, woo, no champagne.
Sorry, never drink coffee to be part of
Thanks, love. So I'm like a creative and my mind is like keeps spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning, and now I'm trying to sort of like combine that with entrepreneurship. And then I see myself as a collector of many things, of stories, of smiles, of creative thoughts. Like my computer is one inspirational thing. Like I love it, and I love to connect people and stories, and kind of like try to find solutions. So for my work, I will share a little bit more about that in my journey, but I'm a consultant for community management strategy. So it goes a little bit deeper than just setting up your Facebook group. It's really like understanding what does your community need, how can we create a marketplace for that, and then find solutions. And I do digital marketing strategy for female online coaches. Because a lot of people are spreading so much stuff on Instagram and they don't really reach the right audience, so I help with that. And then there's Digital Nomads Daily. I think it's like my baby. It's about 6 months old now, so it's very new, but I've been working my ass off. I'm now starting to work instead of really, really hard, a bit more smart. I guess that's also a bit why I'm here. So yeah. My journey. Okay, so these are my parents, and as much as I love them and they're great that they put me on planet Earth, there is a reason why I show them. So me growing up, I've always been completely lost in community. So I was like a teenager, and then there was a situation that I would have a birthday party, and usually people move a little bit in the same groups, but for me that wasn't. Like I had like a birthday party with people from all walks of people in my village or city, and these people would never ever meet or hang out or even talk to each other, only on my birthday. And my parents supported it. And I think that I love them a lot for that, because they have always believed in my creativity. They never pushed me to do like super well or super awesome in school. They were like, just pass your classes and have fun. They wanted me to connect with other people. And that has been kind of like the driver for what I believe, what I'm doing today. Like collecting stories, connecting people, build community, and try to help other people out. But then there's a photo of me and my dad. And this is a little bit of the sad part of it, is that the two people that have always believed in me and in my journey and in my whole life, it only ended up my dad. My mom, she passed away. It's really sad. And it's not, I really want to point this out, because of course it's sad when someone dies. Like, you know, that's not cool. But what happened to me is that, for me, like, there were only two people who have always believed so strongly in that weird creative vision that I have. So when she passed away, I kind of lost a little bit of love and a little bit of life with that. But the good thing is that my dad, he keeps believing in me, and with everything that I do, that I touch, that I feel, that I smell, I feel my mom with me every single minute. Like, and it's a great thing. So this is, I guess, where a bit of my story starts. I'm gonna kind of do it in a nutshell, because I would actually really have to, love to have the conversation with you guys. So this is Juan. He is from Buenos Aires, and this is one of the people that changed my life. So a couple of years ago, I was studying in Amsterdam, and I got this opportunity to go to Denmark. For everyone who's from Europe, we have this Erasmus program. It's kind of like an exchange program. It makes it really, really easy to study abroad. It's also a lot of partying and not so much studying, and it was epic. It was great. But what happened with him is that I was in Denmark. It's really, really cold, and my school was like on top of a hill, so even more cold. It was in Aarhus. It's like seaside, like it's freezing. And I was with my Dutch friend Lisa. No, she's not in the picture. Anyway, so I was with her. We were waiting for the bus, and then me and Lisa were kind of like bitching about that the bus was really, really late. Like I'm talking about 3 minutes. And it's like we were just so Dutch and cranky, and we just couldn't accept it. And then Juan was like, oh, hola, ¿qué pasa? And he was like smiling and doing his thing, because he was always so happy. And he was like, yeah, what's going on? And then at one point he was like, really, what's going on? And we were like so cranky. And then he was like, you could tell that he didn't understand what was going on. And that kind of triggered in us, like, okay, so what is going on? And this, like, mind-blowing, he had never seen an app where you can see where the bus is, and also that the bus is just around the corner, waiting for the traffic light, and then it will come. For him, it would take him around 4 hours to get to work. So it's getting to work. If he's lucky that there is a train, and no one or no sign or nothing would tell him if the train is coming. So for him, going to his work, his everyday thing, and then coming back was like such a big struggle. So imagine me and Lisa, my friend, like bitching about like, the bus is late, all of that kind of crap. And this guy is like, oh my God, I see the application. This is great. Like, he didn't get it, and I didn't get him. And it kind of like changed my whole perspective on like, I don't know anything about this world. I thought it was so smart and so cool living and studying in Denmark, but I didn't know shit. I really didn't. So I started hanging out with all the people that were completely different from me. So there was this girl from South Korea. Like, I started listening to her a lot. Her life was so different. Like, I couldn't even imagine. And I think that was like one of the biggest triggers. And then going to this photo, this is my ex-boyfriend. He's a really cool dude. So he came to visit me in Denmark. And when I saw him, so I was supposed to like go back, live with him, and do that whole thing. I guess like get a pet and kid and whatever. We were like collecting stuff for homes and then I was like, the day actually after this photo, I broke up with him. Because I got super stuck. Like I'm actually stuck here in the refrigerator. But I got really stuck in this idea of like, I don't want to live that life. it's not possible. Like, how can I just go home and live that life? And there's like all these people out there. Like, that was not possible. So yeah, I'm really happy for him because, or with him, because he really supported me and everything. And then yeah, there was another girl in my life, Mikey. She's from the Philippines, and from Denmark, I wanted to move to Asia. It was not possible because I had to fill out so many forms, and I had only 4 months, and you know the system back home. It's like it's super complicated. It's not because I was just supposed to do an internship. So I went to Italy instead. Met this girl on Facebook, and she became like my best friend, and she also changed my life. Before I'm going to continue with that story, think about for a second who changed your life, and I will ask about it later on, okay? But just there must be someone that kind of like even created the life that you're living right now. Yeah, so I was living with Mike in Italy, in Milan, and then all these Filipino girls, they were also in Europe, and we had our Christmas together. And there was one day that one of the craziest one, this tiny one here, she said, Nina, why don't you move to the Philippines? And there was like 1 second. I was like, fuck yeah, let's do that. So I graduated, and you see here, this is my stepmom. I wouldn't say she like replaced my mom, but she's super epic. And yeah, so for me, it was comfortable to leave, right? So I graduated, one more trip in Amsterdam with Mikey because she came to see me. And then the world happened. So I moved to the Philippines. This is my first day. I was really, really ugly there. I just arrived. I had no job, no plan, nothing. But I found a job in 2 weeks in a tech startup as a marketing manager. It was great. This is the first time I see like a tropical island. I didn't know what I was seeing. I only had seen it on TV. And then I was making a lot of friends, like Filipino friends and international friends. And then I think like the first sort of like bits of loneliness and stuff kicked in. And I didn't know how to solve that. So what I did instead was like, why not organize gatherings, like uniquely formed gatherings where I combine Filipino foods, introduce that to like internationals, and made a bunch of other friends. I run like 9 events for this in Manila, and it was really successful, and it was a super cool experience. But like I said, like I found my job, and I was a marketing manager, but within 3 months, the company promoted me to become a general manager. And I thought that's great, but it was not that great because I was working 80 hours a week. I was completely burned out, but I still had this vision like, no, it's okay because I live in the Philippines, and you know, like I thought I was living a dream, but I was not really sure what was happening. And this is one of my teammates, and she's actually really sleeping there. It's a very common thing in the Philippines, but we were so dead, and I was not burning myself out, but also my team members, and I feel really bad about that. So was I like really fucked up in my head, or was I actually happy? And this is a crucial point in my life. So I started asking myself like very basic questions, like, am I happy? Do I travel enough? Do I have enough friends? Am I happy with my finances? All these things. And, you know, there was a lot of no's, but the only thing that kept me sort of like going was like, I don't want to go back home. There's like no way I'm doing that. And I'm sure that a lot of people here, like even their struggles can sort of like relate to that kind of thing. Like there's no way I'm going back home. And you're right, you shouldn't. So what happened is that I quit my job, and I thought, I'm going to become a digital nomad. The world is going to happen, and I found a remote job, and that was great. Well, that job lasted only for 3 months because the guy lost all his clients, and he needed to let me go, and you know, then a whole other life happened. So I started working remote. Well, that didn't work out after 3 months. I also didn't save. I thought, oh, I'm a digital nomad, so I have to travel a lot. So every 2 weeks, I was in a different location. It's so stupid. I don't know why we think this. Every 2 weeks, I was in a different location. I ditched all my stuff, one suitcase. I was super proud of that because I came from like 60 pair of shoes that I bought in my burnout. Every time I was like, oh, I can go to the mall and buy new heels, and that would make me temporarily happy. So I had a lot of stuff to like, you know, like give away. Anyways, working remote, and then I started freelancing. Luckily, I got a client for social media marketing. The guy was paying me $1,500 a month, which is pretty good if you live in Bali. And that lasted around 5 months. But I was traveling every 2 weeks. So I burned so much money on flights. Like, these people should have paid me. It's terrible. And then at one point, these guys, they changed the direction of the company. So the work that I did for them was not needed. So I started hustling. And this was like, I think I'm still a little bit in transition of getting out of that stuff. But this is hard. And I know that there are people here in Dojo also like hustling, and you know, it's a really hard thing because there's a lot of unknown, and you're kind of like grabbing everything you can, and it creates a lot of inconsistency and a lot of not so much clarity, and you kind of lose yourself. And I don't know, that at least happened to me. And then I was like, no, I'm an entrepreneur and I need to believe in what I do. So yeah, so today I would say like I'm in transition with the purpose for like long-term goals. So that's why I said it in the beginning, like I do consultancy for community management strategy and digital marketing strategies for female coaches. No boys left. And that's also kind of like where I started Digital Nomads Daily. In this one, where I had all these challenges, I feel like I'm already kind of like old. Like this is like a whole cycle already, and I was kind of lost, and I didn't know. I couldn't ask people. I have a couple of nomad friends, and I asked them like, hey, how do you go about this stuff? But like we said in the beginning, like love is super hard. Productivity gets really fucked up when you're traveling a lot. There are a lot of social distractions. Like there's a lot of going on in our lives. So I decided to start Digital Nomads Daily. And the quick story of that is I was interviewing people for my own YouTube channel. And then I was like, oh, I want to call it Digital Nomads Daily. There was a URL available, like .com. Like, how does that happen? I got it. And like within 24 hours, I had everything. And then I was like, okay, I have Digital Nomads Daily. And then I started creating a lot of content, which takes a lot of time, right? Yeah, and that brings me kind of like to one of the questions that I have. Like I kind of looked up like what does it mean to be a digital nomad? And this is a really, really poor description of digital nomad. So if we're going to Slido, you can do it now or later. I would love to hear kind of like what are the ingredients to be a digital nomad or location independent entrepreneur, whatever you want to call yourself. Maybe someone wants to like comment on that, like now, like Dan, what is for you an ingredient of this lifestyle? Pin time, yeah.
I mean, it's mostly just location independence, isn't it? Like everything else is like, I like the fact that people do so many different things. Like,
Yeah.
There's no other criteria than that. I don't think you even have to be someone who travels necessarily very much.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Like just being in a lifestyle where you don't need to be in one place. That's the biggest thing to me.
Yeah. Does anyone wants to add something to that? Why?
Working online.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just don't know that.
It's true. It's true.
Fair.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so it's like working online, being location independent, but do we see like actually crazy amount of traveling, and do we see like the insane amount of blasting on social media, and you know, like and the freedom and the mindfulness? I don't know. I think it's a really tough question, and I know that Michael from Dojo also has a hard one to answer this one. I think we all have that. So yeah, so like I said, if you have anything that you want to like share with me, that would be great, because I cannot do Digital Nomads Daily without you guys. It's not possible. Yeah. So for me, this is my digital nomad photo. I took a lot of these photos for like statement stuff. It's really funny.
That's a good one.
Because you took it. Yeah, so for me, like a bunch of the struggles that I had was I had no purpose. Like I said, like I was just going like a maniac. I had no purpose. I had a lack of community, no long-term goals, no boundaries socially, financially. Like I never said no. And then my finances were really, really screwed. And then professional loneliness. And that's especially with Digital Nomads Daily, because I've been running the whole show on my own. Thanks God, my new teammate is coming in this weekend, so that's one thing that I'm going to fix. But I think when you're a digital nomad and you're an entrepreneur, like entrepreneurship on its own can be very lonely, but especially if you're like moving around, I mean, environments where other people moving around, like, man, that's hard. So yeah, so basically what I do with digital nomads, and this is kind of like a little screenshot of it, is that I interview nomads and I just ask really basic questions, like how do you deal with stuff? Because I had no clue how else to do it. You can just go to digitalnomadsdaily.com, everything will be there. And I just really ask like about daily questions. So yeah, I would ask about love, about productivity, about morning routine. And that's why I was so stoked to do this talk, because I had these conversations with individuals and at my events, but I never had it like in a room like this. So thanks for being here. Yeah. So one of the things that I always say, like, let's talk about the not so sexy stuff, because I think this is pretty sexy. So let's not do that one. My dad didn't see that photo, by the way, so that's good. So I have a group, and with that group, I just started it, and I'm just kind of like picking topics that people say during the interviews to have conversations there. Since I do community management as a job, it's a very well curated group, and I really encourage people to kind of like not just comment and link drop, but really, you know, like make value out of it and the best use of it. Yeah, so for example, like a lot of people meditate, which is great. And then I just ask a question like, what do you use? So Kieran is one of the guys in Dojo. He knows a lot about this stuff. So he would share the app that he's using. And Zach actually comments on that, like, oh, there's a Guys Waking Up app. It's made by Sam Harris. Plus, if you email the email address saying you're poor and you can't afford it, they give you a 1 year subscription for free.
That's true.
This is great stuff.
That's the
And
number one Nomad hack.
so, you know, like maybe we can just all like fuck their system and just all request. No, but I think it's really cool that we do this. So one of the reasons why I started this group is that one time I asked one question, I can't find it. I tried to look for the post, but I couldn't. And I asked a question about productivity, and I got like over 400 comments. What the hell do I need with 400 comments? Like it creates more fuzz, right? So yeah, I wanted to create a bit of a better place. And this is where I kind of want to jump into the life hacks kind of thing. So like I said, I'm not going to tell you how to do it because I don't know you well enough to say it. I'm also not a life coach or anything like that, thanks God. So it's all good. But one of the things that you first need to do is just ask yourself, who are you? Like, what I did when it became really hard is like, who am I? What am I doing with my life? Does this make sense? Like, is this really happening? And this is a really important question. So you kind of have your nomad avatar, right? Like, are you an entrepreneur? Are you a remote worker? Are you maybe a bit of both? Like, what is it that defines you? Because if you're an entrepreneur or founder, you have different challenges than you're a remote worker. So connect with your values. But with that, connect with the values that are important, but just connect with it in a way that you understand it. But just don't like put your focus on it like too much. Just be aware of it. Like this is all about awareness, right? And then what is your desired self? This is a question that has been popping in my mind. Like, it's almost like hitting my face every single day with my coach, because it's really important, not like where you are right now, but where do you want to go, and how does that desired self look like? Like, how do you wake up? What kind of people do you hang out? Like, what are your new values? Because you can create your own character, and it's just a force of habits and routines, and you are in complete control of that. You just need to ask yourself the question. And I know that a lot of people don't ask themselves this question. They don't even start with the first question. So, what really helped for me, get a mentor or a coach or an accountability partner. I don't have a big budget, so I can't pay for a fancy coach, but I also felt like I really didn't need it. So I have an X deal. I do marketing for my coach, and she helps me, and it's been great, and it's been really helpful. It keeps me on track because I'm a little bit all over the place with my work. So this is kind of like what really, really helps me. So if you feel like, oh man, I might need it, but I don't have money, you don't need big budget for that. Like, you can just find someone here in Dojo, like, hey, maybe you want to be my accountability partner, high five me, you got it. Just put some rules and stuff, and that's it. Like, it's not difficult. You just need to do it. Yes.
Yeah, I think that one for me is like something that I'm transitioning as well from corporate to this life.
Yeah.
And I think it's something new that you have to be open to, because when you're in this big corporate environment, it's not nearly as necessary because you have all those people, people, bosses, coworkers that are keeping you accountable. But then when you get out there, you're kind of on your own. I think that's where the value comes in. So it's something that's like part of the transition.
Exactly, and it's a very fair point. What I can add to that point is that when you, especially in transition from like a lifestyle where people have always told you what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and then you jump in this free lifestyle, and it's like, oh, it's like freedom. Like, that's great, but like, that requires also a lot of structure, because you will get lost in that freedom. And I think that with a coach, like, there are a lot of coaches around there, and lifestyle coaches and all these kind of things. You don't need anything big or fancy or expensive to get some help and some guidance. I think the whole coaching thing is blowing up a lot. And if you just get the core of it, it's just someone that sometimes can hold your hand, push you in the right direction. If you're smack in the face, if you're not doing what you told yourself to do, that's it. And also, like, tap on the shoulder if you did really, really great. I mean, that's part of it too, right? So then the other thing what I learned from the Nomads is, what are habits? Like, what are your habits? And what are the good habits and the bad habits? And I think that some people might say, like, no, you really have to focus on the bad habits. I think like both are really important. I think as individuals, we have good stuff, bad stuff, and we don't need to fix all of that or change it right away. But if we're open to understand the good stuff and the bad stuff, and then have a conversation, we can learn a lot from each other. What might work for me doesn't per se work for you, but that doesn't mean that it's not valuable information. So also with an accountability partner, that really helps if you like share that stuff. And once you understand your habits and you kind of you lose track a little bit, you write it down on your phone or on your laptop or in a journal or whatever works for you. You can just track where you went wrong, and then you just pick up like that. Like, one of the things that I learned from Michael and Nomad, he said, like, everything is just a collection of like smaller events. It's never like the biggest thing. If it's just like baby steps, works pretty well. So know your habits. So baby steps, like, what's your action plan? I think once you know your values, your desired self, you maybe have an accountability partner. Again, very, very highly recommended. And you know your routines, then you're pretty good to go to create some sort of action plan to work towards that desired self. And I've been doing this for like the past months, and I mean, it's great. And I see a lot of people around me have been doing that. I have accountability partners for that. And I think once you have an action plan, you actually see your process, and when you're aware of the process, things are just so much easier. Again, like, this lifestyle is great. It's a lot of freedom, but you need some sort of structure. And then the other thing is just be, you know, like a bit kind of selfish. Like, I think one of the things that I hate saying no to people. I would say yes to everyone. And one nomad that I interviewed says yes to everything and everyone. I tried it for 1 week and I didn't even make it after 5 days. I was like, fuck, I can't do this because I can't protect myself. I don't have any boundaries. I would, you know, like drink a lot, not work in dojo or actually anywhere. I would just do nothing because it doesn't really match with my values. So, I mean, you don't have to be an asshole, but just be kind about it, but just choose for yourself. You live this life for you, not for everyone else. If you live a life for someone else, you probably would have been home and please your parents or your family, whoever. This is about you, so make it about you. Community. Who do you want to hang out with? I think this is one of the biggest things that I hear in all the interviews, that people have so many struggles with, like, who are my friends? Because people are moving a lot the whole time. Like, who are my friends? Who are my close friends? What is my community? And this is, yeah, as a community manager and a bit like in the public a lot, this is super, super tough. But one of the things that I learned from a nomad, Samantha, is that she actually did a bit of research before she came here to Bali, and she was just, you know, like, she knows what she wanted to do. She found groups around that, and then she started hanging out with these people. It sounds almost a little bit freaky, but it's really, really good, and it inspired me to be a bit more mindful of, like, who are in my surroundings. How do you do that? Well, understand your environment is the first thing. One of the things that I did is that I mapped every single person. Try. I think I forgot a few people. It's okay. You know, the important people were there. And I just put everyone there. I was like, okay, who is in my work environment? Who's in my social environment? Who am I going to tell my dating stories with, and who absolutely not? You know, who am I going to tell that all my clients dropped again, got in depression, and who cannot know that because that might be a future client. Like, I have been so aware of who is in my environment that when I showed this to a couple of people, because they were in my close 10, I was like, just so you know, you're in my close 10 and I really value you. They were like, oh, that's really freaky. Did you actually do that? And I just showed them. And this is what I got. Like, even like 2 weeks ago, I had an event and I told this girl, I was like, yeah, no, I have my list like right here. And I showed it to her. She had no clue who these people were. So it's comfortable to share. And I just popped it. And she was looking at me like, wow, like, I know I sound like I'm a really freaky person, but I'm not. I'm just really aware because I went through so much with all of this and I learned so much from other people. And I was like, oh, I'll just try it. And what I do now is that, and I sucked at it the last 5 days because I was in a very remote place without internet, but I would just message these 10 people almost every week. Just a gesture of like love or kindness or, hey, like, you're on my mind. I don't need to be on your mind, but you're on mine. And that really works. It creates a really, really nice place. So who are these people? For me, it's my dad, my bonus mama, that's how I call her. Stepmom sounds so nice, right? And then my brother, my sister, my niece, and then there are some other people in that group. And actually, some of these people are in this room, so that's great. And then there are 20 close people. I read somewhere in an article, and I forgot where it was. Anyways, that you need to map like your 5 close people, and then you have like 15 close people. And I was like, how the hell can you do that? I come from a very small family. So I was like, with this, the number, it doesn't matter. If you want to have 20 really close people, because you can manage that, go for it. If you just want 5 close people, go for it. It doesn't matter. As long as it matches your values, that's what matters, because this is about you. This is not about what other people think or do and want and all that stuff, right? So I have like my numbers at 10 and then 20 close people, and with them, I try to message them around every 2-3 weeks. Sometimes I forget, they're on my mind. I will share my stuff. Do mostly really long voice messages. I don't know if they like them, but for me it's very easy. And that's it. And then there's community. And to be honest, with these people, I drink a beer, I have fun, but I would just not be that close with them anymore. It's not because I don't like the people. I'm sure I like everyone in this room because we're all beautiful people. But sometimes you need to put some boundaries. Who are you going to hang out with? Especially when people are leaving and moving and hopping places and hopping communities. In digital nomad lifestyle, and dating goes a little bit like that as well. You can be best friends with one person for like 3 months, and then the person might be still there or not, and the person disappears because they found another group that's fun at that point. And I think like only this year, we're only halfway, I lost like, I think around 15 people like that. And I was close with them, they know all my shit, and they're just still there, but just not in my environment. And I have been crying over that. It's super painful. So I've been a little bit more aware. Yeah, and then, you know, routines. This sounds a little bit boring, but I think this is number one key for everything. If you know yourself, you know your habits, you know your values, your desired self, who you are going to be surrounded with, you can actually kind of understand, like, what is your 24 hours work? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you working remote? Do you have schedules? Do you have a company and passion projects? How many people do you in your environment? Question is, what is your 24 hours work? I think not a lot of people ask these questions themselves. So I need around 6 hours of sleep. I need like an hour of meditation and do all of that kind of stuff. I don't want to go out and drink beers every night. So I am super, super conscious about my 24 hours a day. I didn't put a screenshot of my agenda because it was a little bit too personal, but I have blocks of everything that I do. So I have me time, I have my meditation time, I have my social time in my close 10 and in my 20 in community. Again, I'm not freaky, but you know, like I really make sure that I understand what this is worth. So yeah, like what happened is that I went to a surf spot last weekend, and I was like moving around my blocks, and this surfer dude has never seen an agenda, I think. He was like, "What are you doing? It's like a puzzle." And I was like, "No, I'm just trying to make time for this trip," because I was supposed to cover a story. And I was like, "Well, if I don't have time, I don't have time. It's a no." I mean, you have to be a little bit strict for yourself. Yeah, so what time of the day do you rock? Like what is your rock star moment? For me, it's the morning. Some people, it's the evening. I don't know. Maybe it's midday. Maybe you have it in the middle of the night. And maybe you have it in the morning, but you have a boss that wants you to work in the night. You need to understand what time of the days, what kind of energy you're at. So you also can create your agenda way, way, way much better. So structure is freedom. This is from a high performance coach. He told me this in one of the interviews. His name is James. And I think it's a very, very strong statement. And I believe it. Like, I have been doing this for 3 months and it works. My life is so much easier now. So what do you must do? If you're a very, very social person and you must socialize because otherwise you're going to be so extremely unhappy, that's your must do. It's totally fine. But maybe you love your company so much and you just work the whole time. It's fine as well. What is your own must do? And it's your must do. It's not someone else's. You don't need to do what other people do. Like, you're here for yourself. Just make sure that this is about you. Don't be an asshole, but it's going to be about you, right? So understand, what is your work time? What is your me time? I need a ton of me time. What is networking? There are a lot of cool events here in Dojo and in other places as well. But are you actually going to go through all these events? Like, when are you just going to pause? And are you going to go to every farewell party? We have a lot in July. It's crazy. But yeah, right. And you have to say no at one point. But how do you say no? And usually we don't say no because we feel like, no, we have to be there. But when you do that, it's not about you anymore. It's about what other people want. That's not why you design your life, right? Yeah, and then what's your money plan? This is a biggie for me. I suck at this. So I'm not going to give you the formula to be really good at this stuff because I super suck at this. I had no plan at all. I think I went broke like already 3 times, maybe 4 times. Luckily, I have friends who believe in me and coaches who structure me or give me structure, and now I'm finally moving forward. But this is a no-brainer. I met a girl. She had a co-working class and 3 co-working spaces, 2,000 euros, no skill, no job, and she came here. I'm a digital nomad. And when I asked her, so what do you do? She's like, I'm a digital nomad. And I was like, yeah, so what do you do? Like, what is your job? Like, how do you make money? She didn't know, but she also spent so much money in co-working spaces and in all the cool restaurants that we have here. And, you know, she had to go home after 6 weeks. And she was like, this life sucks. No, she sucked. Which is understandable because no one is telling us how to do it. So if you're sitting in this room and you know how to master this stuff, hit me up because I need to know this. I really, really suck at it. But a very important thing. So before we're gonna go more in conversation, this is your life. It's like The Sims, right? You design your own life. You can put all kinds of stuff in there. You can make it as big as you want. You can break the walls whenever you want. If you have that 4848 code, I forgot what it was, and you have a lot of money, and you know they're all like tweaks and tricks and all this stuff. We can make this life better. And to be honest, I don't think it's that hard, but it can only be easier if we do it a bit more together. There are people who have been a nomad for over 5 years. There are people who just entered the space. And if we start sharing what we do or what we learned and stuff from our own cultures and our own beliefs, then we can actually create a better definition and we can really master this stuff. Because I really believe in this lifestyle. I would not be able to live in the Netherlands. I love my family so much, but no way I'm going back to that country with a lot of giants and it's really cold and it's very rainy. Ain't happening. So what I want to ask you is stay in control, right? This is your life, design it. You're free to do whatever you want, don't be an asshole. Stay sexy, that's very, very important. I'm not saying do not post not sexy stuff on Instagram because we all like aesthetically pleasing things. So it's great, like it's not wrong, but you know, just be a bit more mindful about yourself, right? Have a purpose. Have purpose, yeah. So just have a goal. If you want to live this lifestyle because you want to be the entrepreneur of your life and you can't do that back home, that's pretty much like me. Yeah, so that's really my goal. But it might be something else. It's all up to you. And if you want to share that later on, I would love to hear that because of all of the people in the room, like you're beautiful, but I don't know why you're even sitting here. So I'm really curious to know, like, why are you here? And then be kindly selfish. Like it's okay to say no. I had 2 weeks ago, someone told me that I'm the most boring person because I said no, I'm just gonna stay. And it was Saturday night, but I was like, you know, I really thought like, fuck you. I've been working for 9 days straight. I cannot receive anything anymore. So I might be boring, but you know, I just want to drink my tea and read my book and just sleep so I can wake up the next day at 5 a.m. to, you know, have my rock star moment and just work again. So might be boring, might be not. And then, yeah, help creating awareness around this. Like this is really important. And like I said, we can only do it together. Yeah, and have fun and enjoy it. I mean, we're not living this to be boring, right? So just have fun. Keep designing your life the way you want it to be. So, I think we can create a winning community. And I think we can only create a winning community if we do it together. So if you go to facebook.com/group/digitalnomadsdaily, you will find a group there. Anything that's like link posting, I made a 10-minute video. I know why, because it's a very valuable video. I know no one watched it, it's okay. But I'm just saying that if you're gonna do anything that's not within the framework, like I'm like, also she said, like if you put on your hotspot, Dojo doesn't work like that. So we will kindly kick you out. I will do exactly the same thing. I'm gonna do it with a smile. I say it in the video and I mean it, but it's just how it is. Because if we're all gonna create a space where it's just for us, and you know, like it's not good. So Just do it together, read the rules if you want to be part of it, and I would be happy to accept you. So I asked you a question, who changed your life? And I would love to hear at least one person in this room that can share that. So who's gonna be that person? Yes.
Am I starting or am I the only one?
I would love you to start.
I'm the only one, but I'll get the room started.
Yes, warm it up.
Last year I came here on a holiday for 2 weeks, and we stayed in a villa that shared a pool with another villa, and the guys that were living here were digital nomads. And there was one guy named Omero. He was an Italian guy that went to Ivy League school in the U.S., full soccer scholarship, went to work for an investment bank, and then went to work for a hedge fund, and was making like crazy money, super, super successful, well known, and he was like, I just gave it all up because I realized that no matter how much money I was making, no matter how much prestige I had, if I didn't have my time, none of that mattered.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I live on a super slim budget. I don't have all of the fancy things. I don't have a fancy car anymore, but I get to do whatever I want with my time, which is most important to me. And that really, really resonated with me because it was the opportunity cost and the sacrifice that he was making to come out here and live this life. So it was just that conversation that I had that one day in the pool back here in Bali that literally exactly 12 months later I moved here, left my job, and trying to do the same thing. So that was
Cool. Thanks for sharing that. Who else wants to share? Guys, there must be someone.
I can. So about 2.5 years ago, I met someone who's now one of my best friends, and she and I got talking about travel and how much we enjoy travel, and she was joining up with this group that sounded a little bit like the Coles at the time, but I promised her not, called the Wi-Fi Tribe. And so she invited me to join along with them. It's a co-living group that travels around to different places in the world, and that got me started traveling. And I did, like you, I did like the crazy new spot.
Yeah.
You know, and then sort of eventually calm down a bit. But yeah, that got me into this life, so thankful.
Yeah, and you're still like connected with them, right?
She's here, yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Who else? Just one more. Yes.
My mentor Daniel, who I just stopped working with after 8 months of working together, and he just really helped me build the mindset that I need to grow my business to where I want to, and like not only the actual like setting up the systems and structures that I need to, but the real battle mindset to get through a lot of the crazy shit that I went through in the last 8 months too. So super valuable.
So how do you deal with that now? Now he's not around. Do you have a hard time? Or are you still working
It's
together?
pretty fresh. I stopped working with him like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll see. Maybe I'm
We can give you update next time.
Yeah. Let's stay in touch now. Okay, cool. Is there anyone else that has like a question or wants to share maybe a nomad story or location independent story, whatever you want to call it? I'm sure someone has something to say.
I've got something
Yeah.
I wanted to say. I think that so I'm not a big believer in coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Personally.
Sure.
And I think that for other people that feel the same way, one of the things that you do in Tengu, which you particularly do here, and I think is really good, is form a group, an accountability group.
Yeah.
So I'm part of a group of developers. We meet up every week. We work together for one day. We do like a sprint session where we just all work on our stuff, and we keep each other accountable and keep track of things. And like if you don't feel like you can if you don't feel like you're the kind of person that can engage with a coach, then a good alternative is having like a group of people, not even just one person, but
Yeah. And how did you find this group?
We made it.
But how did these people come together? Like, what was the connection at first?
I don't even know. We just sort of like ended up talking in co-working spaces and stuff. A couple of people knew each other, and then other people knew each other, and before you knew it, there's 15 of us.
But it's a really valuable point. I think it's good because like a lot of people say like, oh, you need like one person. I also have they're not in a group, but like they're a bunch of people that help me keep accountable for my stuff. So it's, yeah, if it's like a group thing, why not? I mean, at the end of the day, the purpose of it is that you grow and that you can keep living this lifestyle and don't have to go home after 6 months because you burned all your money in co-working spaces, right? Is there any other question about this presentation or for me?
I guess it's like, what is your vision? Because you're talking about you didn't have any purpose.
Yeah.
And you launched this, like, yeah, what is your purpose and what's your vision for all of this?
Great question, thanks. Yeah, so what I really want to do with Digital Nomads Daily is that I want to interview as many as nomads as I can to uncover like the true stories behind this lifestyle. And then what I want to do is to create solutions around that. I don't need to build those solutions because like even already in Dojo, there's so many people with great products and systems and everything. But I would really love to, like, if there is like a trend, like productivity or dating, a lot of people ask me to do like a speed dating event because dating is a really big issue. Then if there is a solution for it, I would like to provide that solution. So for me, the bigger dream with Digital Nomads Daily is really to create a safe place to talk about everything that's not really sexy, and then just, yeah, create solutions around it so we can be more meaningful together. Yeah.
That's nice. So would you encourage people who are like outsider and thinking about doing it? Would you say don't do it, or you like welcome to this?
I would welcome everyone because I think it's a great way of life. I just would not sell a course how to become a digital nomad in 30 days or how to make $10,000 in 30 days. Like that's something that I don't really believe in yet because I don't see proof of concept. But I wouldn't say like don't do this lifestyle because it's a great lifestyle. I mean, I love it. That's why I'm not home. Even when I went broke, like it's like that. But I do think if people are new to this lifestyle, yeah, just be more aware about it because it's a dream life. But man, it's so hard. It really is. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I think all of us can relate.
Yeah, right.
That's why we're here.
Okay, guys, I think time's up. Is it?
Yeah. If anyone has,
If there's like a final
last
comment.
question.
The one thing that comes to my mind is originality in this space. It seems like because it is such a connected community, it seems like a lot of stuff is just repurposed. I don't know if anybody has any ideas on that or thoughts on that, but like, man, when you talk about your hackathon group, like something that it sounds like such a good idea to me, and I'm like, well, that's their thing. They have the hackathon, and for me, it's like I'd like to start my own, but it seems like in a lot of these and a lot of the ideas, the space is so connected that it seems like a lot of stuff is taken or is repurposed, or it was just the thought that came into my head when we created our own hackathon. I'm like, all right, I'm like not dance hackathon, that's not Nina's Nomad community. It's just like, yeah, I just something that popped in my head.
Well, a question for you on that would be, why is that a negative thing? Necessarily.
It's not a negative. I believe in also creating new things. And so I guess it's just taking ideas that people have done and changing something about it or whatever it may be.
I mean, that's the best way to come up with stuff. It's like,
right.
Like literally what we did was we said we want to form a group which is like the developer group at Dojo, but not specific to a particular coding space.
Mm-hmm.
And so we took two ideas and put them together and got something new.
But I think also
that's the best way to form.
Right.
the beauty of it is as well is that this whole space is pretty new, right? So I think that if we create a lot of stuff that is a bit more mindful and a bit more focused on like certain like needs, instead of for everyone we just focus, okay, this is the problem, this is the solution, and we're going to do it like this, then you can create like a lot of valuable stuff. But I do think that if we all keep on, no worries. If we all keep like blasting the same stuff, yeah, I totally get your point. But I think that this is a new space and it's so new and the solutions are not there. Like I was running remote and thought I would get like amazing solutions, and it was a great conference, but I didn't get the answers that I was expecting, which is okay because maybe the answers are just not there yet.
Yeah.
So don't stop with creating stuff. Like,
Yeah, I think it's just it just seems like there are a lot of people doing the same thing, and it's almost maybe it's because they're all coming from like the one guy who sold the course on how to be digital nomad. Everyone's out there building the same course. Yeah, that's in this space. It just occurs to me that it's like it seems like you find a lot of fun.
But you're working in a space, you're creating something in
Right.
space. So your mind is like everything digital nomad. It's like, I go like the whole day.
Yeah.
But maybe for other people it's not because they have not been this deep into it yet. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
I just think stuff for the twist can be really cool. I used to do this for developers, right?
Right.
But if I'm doing writing, let's say, and I could get like 5 people together to do something for writing, like I did basically completely rip off your idea, but it's a different
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's like different
And
version.
actually, my friend who I mentioned before, Pia, she actually runs one of those on Fridays.
There's a question in the back.
Sorry, can I just wondering, what are all the different thoughts, different thoughts that I so is it all about digital marketing for companies? Sorry if that's like blanket.
No, it's a great question. I think actually, why don't we do a super quick round of what we're actually doing?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, let's just do one. So Dan, start with you.
Software developer.
I own a gym business and promoting podcast.
Yeah, we make gym.
Okay.
Software.
Software.
The science teacher.
Oh, cool.
High school?
What else? We have e-commerce over there.
So can carry on that. What do you do?
I am entrepreneur, yes. I think so. Last time I checked, I just
Print money.
yeah.
Photographer.
I said a travel company.
Okay. Photographer.
Instagram.
Chris learning social media with a busy
Cool.
Cool.
No, it's great.
I mean, like, I actually had my first day working remote with these two guys.
Awesome.
I have a marketing and creative agency that serves brand selling on Amazon.
Okay, that's you.
Graphic design and
Cool.
Website.
All right.
Very e-commerce business. Very important team. Just waste some else. I'm actually running a business, but actually not doing it.
He's a smart man.
I'm still based in Australia, hasn't been planned, so let's see what we'll do.
Okay, cool.
so I own music business. So I'm singer songwriter, also composer and producing so music. So I want to tell that I really want to say that it's not only for like certain
Somebody making gin.
yeah.
There's all kinds of
Very
stuff.
diverse,
Oh,
very
you're
diverse.
looking at gin?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. That's why your hair was.
Last one. Guys, we have one more.
And then what they do.
I'm not really like, I work at university, so I get like 3 months off a year, so I'm like 1/4 of a digital nomad. Yeah, like in the future, I want to make, like I teach English, so I want to make materials. I'm doing that at the moment. So I'll be around for the next month doing that, and then back up to China. So hopefully one day full time doing that.
Awesome. Well, I hope that answers your question.
I've been here for 3 months and I haven't made a penny.
How do you lose your money?
I'm starting my first business. I'm working on a project. I guess it's a project until you make it. So hopefully it'll be a business.
Guys, I really want to thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I have one small favor. This is my first talk in dojo, not in my life. Can we do like one photo?
Oh yeah.
But I'm really bad with selfies because my arm is so short.
I think it's better if it's there because the lighting is better that way. So you can.
So how are we organizing this?
Everyone's just gonna squeeze in.
Can I sit on the table?
Yeah, you can. Do whatever you want. There is no rules here.
Just lay sideways.
You need to move, join the crowd in the back. Join the crowd in the back. In the back. In the back. Oh, that's cute. Okay. Then you need to. Then you need to move again to the back. To the back. Okay, this will work. Moment. Hey, naked with water.
Oh yeah, we need the. Otherwise, it's just a black thing.
Hey, did you?
What the hell? All right, let's. Little camera. 1, 2, 3. Change pose. 1, 2, 3. Oh, you guys are awesome. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
All right.
Like that was your signature
posting
pose.
That's so cool. We have cryptocurrency meetup after this, so if you're into crypto, you can join. Thank you.
Awesome. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Thanks for your questions. Oh, you're welcome. I like the yeah. The whole thing, it feels really hard. But I also can, since that's because people is so many like stable stuff, like because I'm a people person, I'm working So I'm like a member here, but then like so with my job I'm sales manager, so I only do the purchasing part. Yeah, I don't even know. I feel like maybe not full time. Oh hi, I'm Julie. Yeah. Hi. Thanks for. So you work in code and what? Like that was there. All over the place.
Honestly, I work at home most of the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I come here occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a great speaker.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so you're not boring at all.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, what is cozy? Yeah.
Your slideshow, are you going to be available?
Oh, actually,
Yeah,
I
somebody
can.
who's looking at this.
Yeah.
It was a really good format.
Did you artist wiki or are you?
I did write my name down in front, but nobody.
Okay.
You can send now if you want.
Yeah. You're. Thanks for coming.
What is your email?
Oh, you have to share it for Google Docs, so it will.
It's open for public.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Anyone with the link can access.
Okay. I will give you probably Gmail is better. Okay.
I mean, not that 6 foot, but 7.
It's in a different spot, not in Japan. Okay.
Where are you from?
I was just working in Japan, so the @sign's over
yeah.
You want to do it?
Okay.
Sorry, I missed the
Maybe,
names.
yeah.
Yeah, he's one of my
Yeah,
best friends. I met him there, yeah.
I think I have to get the bowling thing at 8.
He has 5 things in his yeah.
Like, everybody schedules up for Thursday. I was like,
No, but starting from Wednesday, life is hard. I love this class, by the way. So it used to be
Okay, send it to you.
Okay.
but then I got into it.
Awesome.
$2. That's so smart. Yeah. I'm going to buy fabrics this weekend, actually. Yeah, I think it's there. You know that big dress that I always wear, I'm gonna remake